drawing some leaves here for you guys, and doesn't matter what type of ink pens you can use. I will be using this rOtring 0.35. If you have rOtring, you might have a 0.30. And you can do this in pencil as well. You can use other ink pens. You can use a Micron or a felt tip, or you can even use a Sharpie if you wanted to. So basically, I'm just going to go ahead and do this in pencil first, and just to get the basic shape, because it's better to do it in pencil first, unless your whole drawing is in pencil, it's just fine. But just start off in pencil and go from there. So, like, first thing you want to do is just draw a line like that, and give it a little bit of waviness, and then draw a little loop like that, and come over to the point here like that. So, and same thing with this. So it's kind of like a misshaped upside down heart in a way for this type of leaf anyways. This is going to be a thicker stem. This will make this stem thicker here. And then from there you can just draw these lines that come out like that. That's sort of going to be more of a guide, really. I'm doing this I will be doing this in ink, but I like to start off in pencil, just the basic shape of everything. And so anyways, here's the story here. Now we got the shape done. I'm just gonna start to fill this in like that. There's a little stem here where it broke off the branch. So I'm just doing these little sections here, right? And because these little leaf stems are going to come off this main branch here. And as you get towards the top, these two parallel lines will eventually intersect, and they become closer together as you go towards the top. To the point where up here where they come together. Nice thing about the technical pens is you can draw nice crisp lines. So I think you can see that. Let me rotate my paper a bit so my hand is not blocking what I'm doing. Actually, I'll go like this. Sorry. So same thing, these parallel lines, they come together up here, not quite all the way, but and if you make a bit of a mistake like I did oops, I'm off the paper, off the sheet here, sorry. If you make a bit of a mistake here like I did right here, don't worry about that. Oh, jeepers. It won't matter to you because when you draw, you're not recording yourself drawing, but I'm just rotating my paper all over the place just so my hand isn't blocking what I'm doing. So now you can just make the outline here, and you don't have to be a little bit rough. Your little bits and pieces of leaves are missing, and it's not a total natural crisp edge. It makes it look a little more believable. And the same thing over here. So now you can kind of erase your pencil lines if you want. Although just wait a bit before you rush in to erase your pencil lines, because even though it feels dry, the ink could still be a little wet. So just give it a few minutes before you rush to erase your pencil lines there. So now you can just go in and do some hatching if you want, or you can leave it like this, or you can use an ink wash, whatever you want, but I'll do hatching. And just leave the perimeter blank. And for this, just your hatching, just keep it all the same direction. Or try to anyways. There. And now just go in here and just sort of fill in, give a bit of a shadow on the one side here. Make these stems stand out a little bit more. Now just around the stem and these little branches, you can go back and just hatch it in the opposite direction, just to make it look a little bit darker here. Makes it stand out a bit too. Adds some shadow, right? Yeah, that's it. Is that one there? And if you want, you can color that in. If you have some ink wash or some other color, whatever, you can go back and just fill in the center part here if you want. It's up to you. If you have a little paintbrush or whatever, you can go in and do this. Another kind of leaf you can do is like for example, like a blackberry leaf, like one with the stippled leaf edges, and that's pretty simple too. Actually, I'll just show you here. Draw your stem and draw a shape like that. And then double this up, bring your lines closer together, and then draw some little stems coming off from the main stem. There, that's just a guide to follow here. And basically, rather than just drawing a line around, you're just going to go like this. See these zigzags, they point down, but as you get towards the top, they start to change direction. And they're not all even, they make them a bit different. Almost like a heartbeat. There, like that. I'll go back in and draw this here, your stem. Yeah, so I'm just using the hatching to shade the leaf in these parallel lines. I probably didn't have to go as big, but it's just easier for you to see if I do. And I probably would have made my leaf tiny like this. Yeah, my paper's bouncing, so it's causing a bit of an issue, but it's okay. If you mess up your hatching direction like I did here, don't worry about it right away. We can fix all that. Then yeah, so just go back and hatch over it again, but just along the stem here. Oh, there we go. And now just go back and fill this up a bit, or thicken this line here, but just on the one side, just to show like a bit of a slight shadow. So here I'm just going to draw a clover leaf, and I'll just draw the stem in like this, and it's just a little one leaf like this, 3 leaves like that. And the ends are kind of round, they don't come into a point like the other ones I did. And this one will be kind of behind. Let me bring it down a bit so you can see it. Sort of like that, right? And then here, like that, and just sort of show it curving down like this, so all the three stems come together into this one main stem here. And it kind of widens at the bottom here and gets narrow at the top, and then branches off into three stems like that. I'll just ink this in here for you so you can see it. So there's one here like this. We have these two parallel lines, and they kind of come together. Oops, and come together at the top here. And same thing here. And just be a little bit rough like this. Don't be too smooth. Just be a little bit jittery with your edges. Just makes it look a little more natural. Again, always do everything in pencil to start. Unless your drawing is in pencil, then you're gonna do everything in pencil. But even when you do ink drawings, especially start off your drawings in pencil just to get the basic shape. That way, if you make a mistake, you don't have to worry about it as much, right? So it's up to you. You can do an ink wash, and I'll show that to you here. First, erase your pencil lines. When you erase your pencil lines, just wait a little bit, just so you're certain that your ink lines are drawn so you don't smear your ink. Even though it feels dry, it might still be slightly wet. I got this ink wash right here I'm going to use in a little brush. This is optional. I'm just showing you something you can do here. So you can just and leave a little bit of the outside blank. Just sort of like shows it, there's a little bit of light hitting it, right? And this looks a little nicer, I think. And then just go back over top of it again in certain areas only, just to add a little bit of dark shadow areas here in the center here, right? So it's up to you. You can just leave it like that, or if you want, you can go back afterwards. Make sure this is all nice and dry. And you can add in a little hatching if you want. I'm going to do a little something different, though. I'm going to sort of make a guide, pencil in somewhere I'm going to hatch. Just to sort of something to sort of see here. Oh, jeepers. I almost dropped my pen on the floor. That would have been bad, because I would have, you hit this and that's it. They're done. So let me just hatch this now, like this. Be pretty loose with it. It just looks a little more natural if you don't get too exact. Also, when you do it, if you're trying to be exact and you're going to be drawing a lot slower, then it's going to take you forever. There you go. So, I mean, you could have done just the ink wash, or you could have just done the hatching. I did both. Maybe it looks a little bit cluttered, but that's pretty much that right there. So, and probably if I was just doing drawings myself, my leaf would have been like this, you know, just a little, you know, quick thing like that, right? I've just been doing a bunch of little ones. I wouldn't have done a big one like this. I did the big one just for so you can see what I'm doing. That's all. So here I'm going to draw a lady fern. That's what it's called. And here's my stem like this. And I'm just going to draw a little guide like this. Come out. And keep these sort of, they don't have to come together like this, but just sort of offset them a bit here and there. Some can, if you want. So just keep them fairly off, but close together though, I should say. It's a better word. And there's your shape like this, for example. Here, one like this. And this is just my guide, my perimeter. So I'm just going to go like this. Something like that. Same thing again here. So like that. Okay, so I think at that point I can draw in ink. I feel pretty confident here. So nice main stem, branch comes off, and then I just go like this. So it's almost a mirror image, but you don't want them to be exact. And you just draw the stem. Is not a parallel line, two parallel lines like the last one. It's just going to be a single line that comes up around the center here. Sort of like that. Draw my guide here. Just feel more confident doing that. When I come back down here, I don't come right to the stem. I keep out a distance from it. So you try to do that with all of them. Oops. I went too thick there. That's okay. And you can overlap them here a bit if you want. I did this one a little different, so I say it's like on a different angle, so it kind of curves over. So like these, maybe you can't see this on this side here. And you can hatch it in. If you want, you can just do the ink wash again. It's up to you. I'll just do the ink wash. Then you just do it very rough. Just some splotchy, different light and shadow areas, right? Different shades of green, or if it's fall, maybe different shades of orange or red, or whatever colors you want to use. That's that one there. Ew. Oops. There. So here I'm just going to draw like a parsley leaf, which is actually pretty easy. So you just draw a bunch of squiggly lines like this, right? And then you get a bunch more up here. Just draw your shapes in first, like that, and then stem coming down like this. There. It's pretty easy to lay that one out, so let me just... And now you just draw some squiggly wiggly lines like this. You're just being quite loose with it, right? Don't put too much thought into it other than trying to follow your guide. So we got just one area here, and then we got another area right here. Now we have a third area up here. You get better as time passes. Oops, there's your basic shape. And now you can just sort of, to differentiate the depth, you just go in and you hatch out little areas like this. My paper is a little bit bouncy. That's okay, I'm just about done here. Could have done this before you hatched, but I forgot to, so I'm doing it now. Just erasing my pencil lines. I'm gonna just bring this up like this. Here. Here. Together like that. And then there. All right. So it is, you have this one line that comes up here, and because it twists, you have another line here that ends right here. I think that's going out of focus a little bit here. That's better here. Hopefully that's better. And then lines that come up like this. So I'll show you an ink here. So again, you got one line that comes up like this. This gets easier as you do more of these. So that's your main part. And then it disappears and it comes over like this, right? And then you got this line here, comes up like this, widens up, starts to come together. They intersect with this one here, and it comes over down like this, and up to this point. And right here, you have a line that comes up here, which is kind of like this one here. And it re-emerges over here, intersects here, and like that. And you just draw a bunch of other lines that do the same similar thing. And yeah, add the little one, add one here, there. And just shade in this area here just to make it stand out by using hatching that goes the same direction as your lines. And then do the same thing here. And then grab one of these lines. Doesn't matter which one. Just sort of make it stand out a bit. And you can do the same thing again. You can have one that comes out like this. It goes like this perhaps. So you're seeing the back of it here. And then it flips sides and comes down like this. And you got the center line here. Merges with this one here. And then like that. And all these lines are merging together at this point here. Be fairly loose with it, just to give it more natural appearance. There we are. And go back and add a little bit of shadow here with the hatching. Maybe you can have a little twisty one here, possibly. Like this. Twist around like this. This one might be a little too tricky though. There's that example.